Hey folks, this is Riker, and we just had the second Diablo 4 dev livestream. In case you missed that 1 hour livestream, in this video we're going to do a recap and cover all the major information that was revealed. So first off, for the beta, not only do we get beta dates, we got a clarification on beta start times. So the early access beta begins on March 17th at 9 AM Pacific time and will run until March 20th at noon Pacific. So the previously revealed date said it ended on March 19th. It's technically going to be halfway through March 20th. Similarly with the open beta, the start time will be 9 AM Pacific, and it'll end on the 27th at noon Pacific. The early access beta will have 3 classes available: Barbarian, Rogue, and Sorcerer. This makes it, I believe, identical to the press beta that I played back in December. You can hear my thoughts on that over there. But then the open beta the following week will have all 5 classes available. Everyone will be allowed to stream this beta, put footage on YouTube, so you can rest assured I will be covering this. While the max level in the beta will be 25, they are planning to have one world boss open during the betas. On each beta Saturday, there will be 4 spawn times. So we don't know when the spawn time is, and it's going to be for the Ashava boss. This was the very first world boss revealed at BlizzCon 2019. And it sounds like there'll be a max of 12 players against the world boss. That could be up to 3 parties, since party play is up to 4 per party. Ashava will be level 25, so you're encouraged to be close to that level at least when you try to take her on. Again, the early access beta is for pre-orders, and you can pre-order at any point, even during the beta itself. It might take up to an hour for you to get your access, but it could also take as little as a few minutes. We also got the PC specs for Diablo 4, both the minimum and recommended. For the recommended specs, they're listing a GTX 970. This is a 2014 era graphics card, so I think most people don't have to worry too much about being able to run the game. This isn't too surprising. Blizzard generally makes their games very accessible to a wide range of computers. On console, you'll be able to play couch co-op. You'll be able to have up to 10 characters per Battle.net account during the beta, and progress will carry over from one beta to the next, but not to game launch. As we previously explained, the beta covers all of the first zone, the first of the 5 zones in the game, the Fractured Peaks, and they revealed during the stream the beta incentives and rewards. In-game, you have cosmetic titles that you can equip to your character. It's just a name, a prefix in front of your character. So by reaching the main town hub, by literally just playing through the prologue, which is super fast and easy, basically if you play the beta, you'll get this. It's the initial casualty title. This is effectively just proof that you played the beta. And then a second title you'll get for reaching level 20, and that's the early Voyager title. But much more excitingly, for reaching level 20, you'll unlock the Beta Wolfpack cosmetic, which is probably the best cosmetic ever in the game. Instead of having a big banner on your back like in Diablo 3, you get to wear an adorable little wolf puppy that has taken a nap. And he is the most precious thing ever, and you must protect him at all cost. Now we're going to get another dev livestream on the 24th, the first day of beta. You'll have opportunity to actually play with the devs. It'll be a community play live stream. Then during this stream, we also got a deep dive discussion on the armor system of D4. So armor provides physical damage reduction, and then it provides half of that reduction to non-physical damage. So let's say your armor gives you 60% physical damage reduction, it'll also give 30% damage reduction to non-physical. In other words, fire, cold, etc. Chest pieces and pants provide the most armor, while gloves and boots provide a lesser amount of armor. Higher item power items will provide more armor, and item power is something that every item has. You see it, it's visible information to the player, and this is based on the monster level that drops the item. So the deeper into the game you go, the higher difficulties, the higher item power items will drop. In general, higher item power items will be better, but not necessarily always better for your build. But there is a linear relationship between armor and item power. Damage mitigation in general sounds like it's going to be important in D4, and the resistance system seems to work a lot more like Diablo 2 or a lot of other ARPGs, as opposed to like Diablo 3. You're going to want to build up your resistances to the different elements, and as you go into higher difficulties, you're going to get a resistance penalty, a penalty to your resistances, thus needing to stack more resistances to overcome that penalty. However, the deeper into the game you go, the more access to sources of resist you have. Gear, skills, the Paragon tree. The game difficulty and monster damage is balanced around a certain expectation of armor that you will have as a player. So if you are not gearing for armor very well or are under-geared, then monsters will hit you for harder than the game is balanced for. If you somehow are overstacking on armor, then you'll likely have an easier time. The higher level you get, the less every single point of armor is worth for you. In other words, 1 point of armor gives you less damage reduction at level 90 than at level 5. So as you get higher and higher level, you need to stack increasingly large amounts of armor. It seems like the cap is 85%. In other words, the maximum damage reduction you can get from armor is 85%. So by this table here, it seems that by level 30, you can reach about 2,000 armor, and that 2,000 armor is absorbing about 30% damage. Now, in general, you shouldn't have to fuss too much about armor while you're out doing open world content. Open world content being just world quests through the campaign, or just pop-up events in the world. But once you're really getting into the endgame systems like Nightmare Dungeons, Helltide, that's when monster level is going to be higher than yours. That's when you're facing the more challenging content of the game, and that's when you might need to think a bit more about ways to mitigate incoming damage. And speaking of damage, in general, the devs are very well aware of all the complaints about insane damage numbers in D3, and they're trying to keep those numbers down in D4. For instance, just one way is that monsters gain increasing damage reduction with level, so they're just going to be taking less damage. We also got some talk about the Stronghold system. A lot of it was a rehash of information that we've already known. Strongholds are places in the world where you go there, you perform some kind of a quest, and then you permanently transform the world in a positive way, and also unlock additional content for yourself. They actually showed gameplay footage of one of these Stronghold events. It's a lighthouse that was overrun by enemies. The flame from the lighthouse was extinguished, so you gotta go there and figure out what's what. Some Strongholds, once you complete them, once you conquer them, they become towns, so you'll get access to new vendors and a waypoint. Oftentimes they might just unlock a waypoint, they might unlock more dungeons to do, more quests, so you have incentive to complete these Strongholds throughout the world. And these Strongholds are instanced personal events to you and your party until you unlock them, at which point they become a shared world zone. We did get a lot of gameplay footage from this live stream. At the end in the Q&A section, we learned that there will be, in a live stream dedicated to this after beta, a lot of talk on progression and endgame stuff. So this should be shortly after beta, live streams and videos discussing this. They spoke briefly about ultra-wide support. There is ultra-wide support, but if you're going for like the full mega ultra-wide, you will get black bars. PC does have controller support, and in fact the game director Joe Shelley prefers to play on controller. As a rehash, Diablo 4's first season will start a little after launch, and seasons in D4 will be substantially meatier than we've seen in the past, i.e. D3 and D2R at this point. Runes and rune words are not going to be coming at launch. It's something that they seem like they want to revisit and plan to have a return to these in the future. There'll be no WASD movement in the game, at least at launch. No using WASD, that is. And there are treasure goblins in Diablo 4. And then one non-Diablo thing that they ended the stream with. We've spoken in the past about how Vicarious Visions, the team that worked on Diablo 2 Resurrected, was absorbed into Blizzard to be put to work on the Diablo franchise. They've been renamed to Blizzard Albany. While franchise general manager Rod Ferguson wanted to kind of marry the two offices, wanted to bring traditions together, and one tradition of Vicarious Visions was to do a Christmas donation drive to raise money for charity. In this case, it was for Toys for Tots, and whoever, I believe, raises the most money gets to pie someone in the face. So a fellow named Neil was the biggest donor, and he got to pie Rod in the face.
Any last words, Rod?
Like, really? Any last words? Be gentle? I don't know, like...
And he's just rubbing it in. All right, well, Rod, how was that?
It was refreshing. It's good for the pores.
And then Rod got a bit of revenge on community lead Pez Radar.
Thank you guys.
Join me in my...
Thank you.
And that's going to wrap up this video. But do be sure to check out my video about my interview with Rod Ferguson and Joe Shelley. You can check that out right here. Thanks for watching. Special thanks to my Twitch, Patreon, and YouTube supporters for making these videos possible. If you like what you see on this channel and want to support the creation of more content, you can consider pledging on YouTube or Patreon and unlocking behind-the-scenes content, monthly virtual hangouts, and more. If you enjoyed this video, please share it. Check out these other videos and subscribe to join Riker's Raiders for more Diablo content.